loved me, Torvald. You have only ever loved the idea of being in love with me. It is perfectly true. You know, when I was at home with Papa, he used to tell me his opinions about everything. And so I had the same opinions. And if I differed from him, I concealed the fact because, well, he would not have liked it. He used to call me his doll child. And he used to play with me just as I played with my dolls. And when I came to live with you, I was simply transferred from Papa's hands into yours. You arranged everything according to your own tastes, and so I had the same tastes. Or else I pretended to. I'm not really sure which. Sometimes I think the one and sometimes the other. Now that I think of it, I realize that I have been living here like a poor woman. From hand to mouth. I have existed merely to perform tricks for you, Torvald. And you would have it so. You and Papa have committed a great sin against me. It is your fault that I have made nothing of my life. All day, every day, therapist, mother, maid, nymph, then a virgin, nurse, then a servant, just an appendage, live to attend him so that he never lifts a finger. 24/7 baby machine so he can live out his big advanced dreams. It's not an act of love if you make her. You make me do too much labor. Look, okay, I'm not helpless, you know. I'm a pretty independent person. I'm just a little bit down on my luck right now. And I could use a helping hand. Oh, this. This is what he said he'd do to me. Cut me up into little pieces, into little shreds. Like you do to a cow or a chicken. This is what he said he'd do to me. I keep trying to scrub it off, but I don't know what kind of ink he used. I think it's Sharpie. This one too. He gave this one to me. This one's permanent. He burned this into my flesh when I first came to work for him. This one too. His brand, he calls it. No, I mean like he actually has a branding line he had made for this purpose. BB for Big Boss Man. Like he's John fucking Wayne in Red fucking River. He says it so that everybody knows who his ladies belong to. And if anyone tries to pimp one of us up behind his back, they can't say they didn't know what he was doing. He's such a smooth operator. I was already a whore in Dubai. I was 16. He bought me. He acted so helpful, acted so concerned. I mean, he bought me breakfast. He said we could do business together. Said he wouldn't be like the others. And me, 16 in Dubai, I thought, working for him must be better than working here. Now I'm the oldest girl that's worked for him. The others don't make it as long as me. We either lose our beauty or we die. Look, I'm sorry to impose on you good people. Really, I am. I mean, it's not something I'm good at. It's not something I enjoy doing. It's not something I'm enjoying doing right now, the delightful people that you are. I mean, here you are, living your lives at home, and then in walks trouble. Someone that could get you into trouble. Someone that could get you into trouble with your boss. Someone that could get you into trouble with the boss. Look, I know it's not a nice position to be put into, and I'm really sorry for putting you in it. Really, I am. I mean, I'd understand if you told me to leave. I'd understand completely. I mean, you're under no obligation to help me. No obligation at all. But that's the bottom line. You're under no obligation to help me. But I'm asking you to. All day, every day, therapist, mother, maid, nymph, then a virgin, nurse, then a servant, just an appendage, lived to attend him so that he never lifts a finger. 24/7 baby machine, so he can live out his picket fence dreams. It's not an act of love if you make her. You make me do too much labor. You know, I had a conversation with some of my guy friends the other day. We found ourselves talking about gender and feminism and this thing they call ratings. To say that I'm afraid that these are the men of our future, the ones that will be raising more men like themselves, scares me, would be less than an understatement. You know, when we started this conversation, I had the sense of amusement. What were these ratings they were talking about? I really wanted to know what was going through the mind of a 17-year-old boy. But to be honest, I was so disappointed, greatly discouraged. No, disgusted. Yeah, disgusted. Because one of them said, and I quote, "Honestly, it's the worst thing to be a girl and not be pretty. I mean, bruh, you had one job." Okay. Me being the feminist I am, which means seeking equality for all genders, by the way, I was infuriated. And so I asked him, is that all we're good for? Is that all we're meant to do? To be what the world sees as beautiful? That's a little shallow of you, to say that women have one job. He sat back in his chair and thought for a while. He didn't answer me though. His friend beside him answered for him. He said, "Nah, bruh, I mean, that's not all you're good for. You make babies too. There'd be no men without you, so..." Again, I think he worded it wrong. There'd be no men without you. Maybe if he said people, I would have been less upset. But that wasn't the point, though. To say that I'm afraid for our upcoming generation would be less than an understatement. I mean, they had my attention now. I had to say something. This is exactly what teenage girls kill themselves over. Why do they have to make a list? This thing men call beauty, whose standards are they based on really? Because I would love to know. I'm afraid if the word beauty was ever to be described in a picture, there would only be one picture under it. But anyways, I never even said any of this because they shut me up before I even got a chance to answer. Another friend, this one female, quickly added, "I mean, no disrespect to your whole feminist society, but girl, you know how it is. It's not like there's just one type of beauty. There's just a limited amount. Don't worry though, me and you, we know we're beautiful. We've got our jobs covered. Some girls just don't. Either way, we're just talking nothing serious. Please, don't get touched." But I was touched. All the way to my bones, I was touched. But I didn't say anything. I kept my mouth shut. Because I was used to this. By now, I know the only real conversation I can have nowadays is with myself. I didn't realize then, though, that my silence was wrong. It spoke more about my values than my words could have ever. So to say that I'm afraid for our upcoming generation would be less than an understatement.
Why are you hanging on so tight to the rope that I'm hanging from? of this island. This was an escape place.